Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Coach G here again with another Alchemist Amateur Spotlight participant. Today I have Shinekwa here. She's new to the scene, but she's bringing a lot of fire, y'all. A lot of fire. So basically, we're gonna do the same thing that we've been doing. I got 10 questions for her. She has to answer these questions. All these questions, they pretty much pertain to her. She's gonna tell you a little bit about herself. Hopefully you get, by the end of this, you get a better feel of who she is. All right. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. All right. So, Shinekwa, you've been boxing for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's a general question for you. All right. How did you get started boxing?
Well, the first time I put on a pair of gloves was actually, I was in a frat in college, like a co-ed frat. And we had
That's something.
we had an event every once in a while called Fight Your Roommate. So if you think about that Brad Pitt movie Fight Club, it was that, but like the hipster edition. So we were in this dark room. Mm-hmm. It smelled like cigarettes and whiskey. And we were playing metal music and trap music, and you'd put on some gloves and you would fight. And it was like,
just go time.
It was great. I loved it. I was so bloodthirsty. I was like, I'll fight you and you and you and you and you. And like, I don't know, with alcohol, it's like it's better than pre-workout. Like you just keep going. So that was my first kind of taste of that. Not as polished as I am now, but anyway, years later when I moved back to New York City, I was really out of shape. I was really just not physically, mentally, just not in the best place. Mm-hmm. And so I started taking classes at Church Street. Actually, that was where I got my start. Sparring classes, found some coaches, and now we're here.
Oh, fantastic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now we're here. We're here. We got some questions. I got a couple questions, about being here right now. That's great. That's great. All right. So question number 2. So people have different struggles, in boxing. Mm-hmm. For you, what would you say is the hardest thing that you have to experience, boxing? It's on this amateur level anyway.
Yeah. Still the emotional aspect of it, not getting super frustrated in the ring, not getting too excited, just learning how to have a real poker face, not showing when you're too tired. Like I'm the kind of person in real life that wears my heart on my sleeve, and everybody can tell what's going on with me before I can. Yeah. So that doesn't transfer when you're in the ring. You really have to. The way that you expend your energy, you have to be in control of that. So that's something that I'm still working on. It used to be where I was throwing tantrums in the ring and throwing my hands up and walk out and sparring. I mean, like a real brat.
Yeah.
So I'm proud. I'm proud of about the progress that I'm making, but it's still but that's it.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad that you recognize it though. I'm telling you.
Not in denial.
I'm telling you. I'm glad you recognize it. Mainly, I know that, like I said, people struggle with different aspects of it. Some people have a mental aspect, some people have a physical aspect, emotional aspect. I'm glad that you mentioned that. Because that emotional aspect is pretty much, I think, probably the paramount part for most fighters, because, you're in combat, you got people punching you in your mouth, like, pop, I feel that pain and you want to give it back, So I know it can be definitely frustrating. And then learning new techniques and stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Sometimes it's like the computer where it's like it's frozen. You're banging on it and you're like, you need it to work. Like that's what it feels like in my head sometimes. But I think to jump back to the emotional aspect of it, when you play, any other type of sport, it is very tactical. I think in a different way. I have a very like kill mentality, and that's never gonna go anywhere. That's part of my drive. That's part of my passion and the dominance.
As a fighter. Yes,
absolutely.
Who you are as a person, even right?
Absolutely, I would say that. But once I start breaking it down, I think into a more kind of technical way that you would anything else, I'll become a smarter fighter, and I think I'll check my emotions more. So that's how I'm trying to move now.
Just being able to tunnel those things and funnel them into a way that they need to be more effective, right?
Absolutely.
That's good. All right. Okay. Here we go. Question number 3. All right. So I know the answer to this question.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if the viewers know. So when you're sparring, right? Do you prefer, a light, easy, hey, let's see what we got, or yo, you know what? I'm trying to put this thing on you. What's up? Let's see what's happening.
Yeah, you know? I've definitely pulled a little Trojan horse with the spar sometimes. And I'm like, let's go kind of easy, or I'll tell myself that, and then it's like like the fists are flying, like kind of thing. I think I go in with that mentality, especially after, you know, gassing out and having that experience of, you know, my conditioning, like, you know,
being tested.
Yes, absolutely. And like humbling me that I know that like I need to titrate like how much I'm putting out there, because the way that you spar should be the way that you intend to fight, right? So if I'm not trying to brawl, exactly. So I'm once again trying to shift away from that and just be easy and just be like calm about it.
Right.
You know, and not have to be at 100. Unless they bring it, then I'm gonna bring it to 200. But
yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good. All right. Let's get to this next question. So now, you know, this question is probably twofold, but maybe, you know, I'll just ask it one way. You know, you're a female in boxing, right? And you know, I know it's very difficult, you know, on a pro level, but it's probably even more extreme on an amateur level. Do you think that you receive enough, you know, support, you know, family, friends, you know, just general public, you know, your Instagram followers, whatever, you know, like, do you think you receive enough support to you know, to fuel you throughout your drive?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I've only had one person, and unfortunately it was my own father, who was like,
nah, this ain't it.
No, he's just not in support of that.
Do you think you think that's because of him being protective, or just?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a generational thing. I think, you know, we come from like a Southern family on his side, and he is very traditional, and I think the way that he thinks about gender roles, and and yeah, I'm his girl, like I'm his firstborn, still thinks to me, you know, as his baby, and so exactly. So I get it, but when I tell him, you know, he knows that I can defend myself, that I can protect myself, and so he trusts in my ability to be like a strong Black woman. But he just doesn't like the idea of getting hit in the head, as he says. But otherwise, I mean, my mom's coming out to see me. She never got to see me play sports in middle school or in high school or anything that I did. So she's my number one fan. And, people, whenever they catch wind of what I'm doing, they're like, when can we get tickets? When are you fighting next? All my coworkers, everybody. It feels great. So I think the general ethos is, and I hope we start to move away from like, oh my God, a girl is fighting, to like, you're just fighting. You know, it's not women's boxing. It's just boxing. Right. But I'm happy to see it on my feed. I'm seeing people from, you know, it's internationally, that women are just, they're out here and not necessarily trying to be pros or whatever, but just being in the sport. And
that's good. That's good.
I love it.
I mean, I feel, you know, piggybacking on what you were saying about your father, like I have a daughter as well, and you know, I trained her as well. So she's not fighting right now, but you know, she can, you know, if you run up on her, it's gonna be a bad decision. You know, so you know, I salute that. You know, okay, let's get to this next question. All right, so I've been with you for a while, right? Oh, and by the way, people that don't know, this is my fighter here. You know,
this is my coach. Right?
So, for you, right? Not for me, because I got a whole bunch. I got a whole another question, another answer probably for this question. But for you, what's your biggest achievement thus far in the ring?
I think just all of it's starting to glue together. You know, like you talk about boxing IQ, and just starting to understand how to read people. I think I knew that on a deeper level, but now it's coming more to the forefront. And so it's still a work in progress, but it's starting to. You had said to me, you know, I was like, it's coming the punches are coming so fast, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, they're going to slow down. You're going to start to see, you're going to be able to time them and this and that. And as long as I keep my eyes wide open, I actually start to feel that happening. It's almost like they're moving in slow mo. So there's a connection starting to happen.
So basically, like when the light is turned on for you, like you just catching that realization, like, oh snap, I'm here. Let's go. You know, like that's kind of it.
Yeah, definitely being more present. And starting to glue things together, set things up, not just let me see if I can punch or where and when I can punch. You know? Right. You do have to set it up, like you said, like a game of chess, and so make your plays and things like that. Right. It's not just randomly punching and hoping that you land. Right. It can't. It doesn't work like that. No.
Good.
So
So and so that realization is basically where you're at right now.
It is, and it's a focus. And like when I want something, I do get it. And so like when you know, so yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, let's get there, man. We're breezing right through these questions. That's good. Okay, all right. So you're a personal trainer. Also,
that's right. And a nutritionist.
Mm-hmm. So you know what y'all got to do.
That's right.
All right, fat bellies. Fat bellies. All right. Okay. So in a real scale, you know, what would you say? Scale of 1 to 10. What is your work ethic like?
Yeah, it's like a 12.
Right.
I don't.
You know, sure
I don't
change
stop.
it all.
Yeah, and it's to the point where it's so ingrained in you know what I do. Like when there is a goal, it doesn't become a whole nother obstacle. It just becomes a part of my life, right? Like this is why boxing works so well for me, because I was already a boxer, already living a boxing lifestyle, or very much so trying to, before I even got into the sport. You know, like I do care about aesthetics. I do care about my health. I do care about my sleep and mobility. I do care about my strength. Like these are all things I do care about, you know, getting my mind right. And these are all things that boxing now helps me make sure that I check off the list. Because if I'm going to win, if I'm going to perform, if I'm going to stop myself from getting hurt, I have to do these things. Right. So it's just like a perfect marriage. It like fits really well. So it's almost effortless. So I feel like, yeah, with my work ethic, it's just like, we have to do this thing. Like, how do we make this, it's going to be a part of my life. How do I make this fit in?
Right. So the boxing just employed more of a structure to it.
Absolutely.
Basically saying, okay, look, I already do this, but now I have to do it because of this. Right.
Yes, because I care about it so much that it's like, it's not a, you know, like not drinking alcohol, you know, even socially, like that was really, really hard at one point, like almost me thinking that it was impossible. I'm going the next, I don't know, like month and a half or whatever without like a single drop. Like I will not do it.
Salute to that.
Because I think in my mind, like if I lose this fight, I'm going to think that it's because I had those drinks. And I would never, I would be so mad at myself for that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it's like, so yeah.
Right. That's good. That's good. Don't blame it on the alcohol. That's for sure. Don't blame it on the alcohol. Yeah. Okay. So, let's say you walked into the gym, right? And, you know, you saw some people who were just straight up green. You know, they've never boxed before in their life. Right. Which leads us to a question that, you know, a little discussion that we had off camera. What advice would you give to people who are just, you know, just getting into it? You know, matter of fact, I'll make that question even more detailed. If you see a young woman, what advice would you give her? And would it be different? Yeah. Would it be different than the advice that you would give to a male? You know.
Well, regardless of, you know, male or female or however folks identify, this person that is going to be your coach, because I do believe in the value of having a coach. I don't care what YouTube and TikTok teaches y'all nowadays. You cannot, this is not that. You need a coach. Right. In any aspect of your life, even if it's not the sport, having a coach is amazing for your personal development, your character development, helping you navigate this crazy world, because we don't know it all. At any stage, at any age, right? We could all use a coach. So getting a coach, and also not being afraid to kiss as many frogs as you need to. Like, this is my fourth coach, 4.5 coach, fifth coach, I don't know. And we're good here. But you know, I was like, you gotta go through it, you know, like you don't settle. Like you're trusting, you know, how you're gonna develop and these skills. And if you decide to spar or fight, like, you know, what this person teaches you. And so you have to have a lot of trust and faith in them, and they have to know what they're talking about and how to connect with you. And I've seen some coach, you know, athlete relationships that's just like, it's very dominant. It's very, you know, kind of talking down. Like, we don't need the boot camp kind of, we don't need the kind of break you down to build you up kind of thing. I don't really know about that. I want to, it's a team, right? So I'm seeing more like peers, because we can both learn from each other. Right. So that would be one of the things. First off, like, get your proper education in the sport to learn the science from somebody that you trust and who knows what they're talking about. Ah,
fantastic. Yeah. That's a great answer. Yeah. That's a great answer. I'm stupid. I was in there. I can do it. I don't need no damn coach. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, no, that thought never crossed my mind. I was like, oh, Are you taking clients? Yeah, no, not at all.
Good.
I will outsource anytime.
Very good.
Yep.
Very good. Okay. All right. Now this is I think a very personal question for you, right? Because we discussed this a few times also. But there's amateur boxing, right? Like I said, earlier that we would lead to this question. Is there anything in amateur boxing right now, as you see it, that you would, like look to change? Like for the atmosphere, the way the judges score, the administrators, anybody, what would you try to change if you had the power?
Well, definitely getting more women in the sport and seeing more. Like there was one camp that happened a couple months ago. So I think that's great. I want to see more things like that, more ways to reach out to women and get them involved and have instruction, more female coaches out there opening gyms and opening spaces, because a gym, even though it doesn't blatantly say mostly male or all male, when you walk in, that's what it's going to be.
Right.
That's intimidating for anybody, but especially for women and stinky.
Yeah.
So it's not everybody's cup of tea.
Listen, that smell.
So,
that's the seasoning.
That's hard work.
Yeah. That's the seasoning, right? Yeah.
But yeah, I can't say that I've seen too much. I know everybody has their gripe about how the coaches score, whatever. But with a unanimous decision, I don't have a problem yet. So we'll see. I know that's what I'm going for every time, though. So I'm just I don't have a gripe yet. Right. People definitely do talk about that.
Yeah.
But I will say it's better than what I've been seeing, which is robot scoring. I've seen some things. I don't know if that's just trying to pull our leg or what, but
I don't know what the hell that is. But yeah, I wouldn't go with it. I wouldn't go with it.
But yeah, so I mean, what I really love also, this is not something to change, but that I do admire is that, I feel like people, they're like boxing. I mention it to clients and they're like, oh, well, I'm not really violent, or I don't really get angry or whatever. And I'm like, it's not like that.
Who told you that?
Like, that's not what it's about. Yeah. If anything, it's about learning to calm that down and not have that be what fuels you to fight. And so I like to see, especially with like the Give a Kid a Dream stuff, it's just helping build character, build structure. Yes. And this coach too, he's doing that with the youth, building these men, building these kings. So yes, keep pushing. Like, I just want to see people keep pushing that, that is what this is here for. Like, it really is a lifestyle, and it really is here to help fortify your body and your mind. Right.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. We got championship rounds. All right. Now, I'm feeling like I'm ahead in the cards, right? I feel like I'm ahead. These are the two championship questions here. We'll see how she does on these questions here, determine whether or not I win or lose. More than likely, it's probably gonna be me anyway. We're gonna
who's
see.
Deciding that?
I don't know. Listen, I pay the judges on the table, so I don't know what you think. All right. Okay, here we go. So right now, as we speak, who would you say is your favorite professional boxer right now?
I'm a big fan of Alicia Baumgardner.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
She's like tough, almost like a Michelangelo statue, like just cut and just like So I like watching her her style. I do love Clarissa's attitude. I like that she's a bully. It makes me feel okay with when I want to be a bully. Right. And tough as nails for sure.
Absolutely.
And then I love Manny Pacquiao too, but more on a personal level, and just like he just seems like such a sweet little guy.
Yeah. I mean, listen, he's a direct example of what you were saying, where you don't have to be aggressive, and you don't have to be like he's that in the ring. Yeah, I'll knock your head off. And then as soon as the ding ding, hey, how's everybody?
Exactly.
You'll never know. Like you walk past him on the street and think, oh, I got a victim. No, you don't. You gonna find out. You gonna be the victim.
Exactly. And came from the muck and then went back, and what did he do? He gave right back to the people that built him up to where he was. And I love that. I think that is what professionals should be using their platform for when they get to that. Right.
That level. That's exactly what I would love to have been able to, be in a circle with guys like Pacquiao and there's a few others out there you know, they got that give back spirit. They got that, you know, listen, not only am I just a professional boxer, I'm a human, I'm a humanitarian. You know, I like to make everything around me better, you know, and that's why I got into this.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, that's great. All right, here we go. Last question. I can't wait. I don't even know the answers to this one, but we're gonna find out. Okay. So you're not just boxing, right? From head to toe, right?
Okay.
You are a person, right? And as a person, that means that you have other things that you do in your life other than boxing, right?
That's
because
right.
you can only box for so long throughout the day. So, so my question is, what other hobbies do you have?
Yeah. Well, I'm really into the arts. So I sing. That's kind of been on the back burner a little bit. I'm going to pick that up this upcoming year. But I've done some acting. So
you ain't acting nothing.
Yeah, I act a fool every day.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah, that's about it. You don't be acting right.
I've
That's
done some
about
little
it.
things. I've been in a web series, doing this,
right.
doing that, going on my auditions.
Good.
But I do that. I'm an avid gardener. Like I really love to make my space. So I like to paint in my house. I do.
Yeah.
I'm growing an avocado tree right now. Let's see how that's gonna work.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's sprouted.
Yeah. Hey, whatever.
It's growing.
Whatever. Just keep putting water in it.
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah.
I am gonna be teaching the little kitties soon. I mean, it is still related to boxing, but I'm hoping to move into some other realms to work with children because I do love kids. So that's another thing I'm gonna be picking up. And yeah, I got a dog that takes up a lot of my time. So
yeah. Shout out to the dog people. Yeah, goodness gracious. Yeah. All right. Hey, that's fantastic. And listen, I'm so glad to have you.
Yes.
I'm so glad to have you.
What that
yes, that's what that was. That was a handshake. Like I know we don't do this a lot, you know, but yeah, I'm glad to have you here. I'm glad to be able to sit down and have this interview with you. If you have anything that you want to add, you know, or you know, you want to give some people some shout outs or something like that. And definitely give them your social media handles and stuff like that. Let them know what they can, you know, where they can find you and all of that. Don't give them your number.
Got it.
So I'm sure some people listen. She don't got no number, right? That's it. All right, but go ahead. Yeah, tell them about yourself.
All right. Well, you can find me. My business name is Fuego Fitness. I'm not one of those people that's like body by Shin or whatever. Right. It's not. I really just try to make it about what the work that I'm doing and not all about me. But you can find me on Instagram, Fuego Fitness BK. You can find me on Facebook by searching Fuego Fitness, and TikTok. I think I'm also Fuego Fitness BK. Or Shinekwa. That's what I am. Shinekwa. You can figure if you spell it right, then you'll find it. That's how you'll earn the right to that one.
Yeah.
But I just want to say to all the amateur boxers, keep it up. Y'all are so impressive. So many of y'all, can't wait to see you in the coming years and how successful you're going to be. And I hope I get the chance to work with you. I feel so humbled every time I work with somebody. It doesn't matter if they're younger than me, if they're slower than me. You know, they don't seem as athletic as me. There's always something to learn from somebody. So keep that mindset open. Always a growth mindset.
Fantastic. Hey, this is Shinekwa. Hey, y'all look out for, all right? We got some big things coming up.
That's right.
We got to fight, in about 2 weeks?
November 18th.
Yeah, we got to fight in about 2 weeks.
Championship belt.
That's right. We're going to get that, all right?
That's right.
Listen, y'all look out. Keep your eyes open. Keep your ears open. Everybody stay blessed. Peace.
Take care.